I'm Reverend Natalie Jean, and this is another segment on the Emma movement. I started the Emma Curtis Hopkins Theological Association, Inc., so that people could understand the aspects of her teachings, the mystical interpretations of the Bible, the King James Bible. And so today I wanted to talk about how do we study her teachings, because there's so many out there. You have scientific Christian mental practice, you have the judgment series, esoteric, gospel series, high mysticisms. But these books are not actually books that we just read. You have to embody each lesson. Basically, Emma took each lesson, and you might have studied one lesson in a month. You would focus on one lesson in a month. So it's not basically that we read the stuff and we rush through it, but we have to get a clear understanding of what is being taught. Each line, each verb, each noun, each pronoun has to come within our soul, and we must try to understand where it is that she's coming forth in the aspects of truth and good in relations to the Bible. Oftentimes, we tend to get Emma's work and we want to read through it like it's the greatest thing on this earth. I know, that's how I started, but I realized that I had to start reading it and learning from it and adapting it to my lifestyle. A lot of the times people just want to read through things to get through it and say, oh my gosh, this is a wonderful thing. But Emma Curtis Hopkins' teachings, it's a process. There are 12 states of consciousness that we have to go through, which each different lesson. So I implore you that when you are reading Emma Curtis Hopkins, you really study it. You really come to understanding it. You become one with Emma's teaching. You become one with God. It is so important to learn that these teachings are a vital thing for us to know ourselves, to come to self-realization. Scientific Christian Mental Practice is one of her greatest books for me because it teaches you the aspect of self and the aspect of good. Now, many times in our lives, we want to be able to manifest different things in our lives. Another book that's great is Self-Treatment. When we want to manifest, we want to be successful, abundant, whole, perfect, and complete, the main process to this, as Emma teaches us, is that we have to have love for oneself. We have to love ourselves as we love God. And that is the only way that we can manifest. We can buy all the books that we want, but we need to get to the point where we know that we are deserving of everything that we want to manifest, that we are deserving of God, that we know that God is within us, and that we walk as God, and we embody the walking as God. I've seen many people that have read Emma Curtis Hopkins, they put their own spin on it, which is fabulous. But the thing is, it is a process. They are lessons. Each lesson, each book, each lesson that you get is something that she taught in the seminary. And each student had to go through a process with each lesson. And even in the ordination process, people had to basically stand in line and sometimes summarize one of the lessons. So it's a great aspect in learning and studying her aspect. It's not just, okay, I'm going to read this book and then, okay, I'm going to get something out of it. No, it's about embodying what God, what Jesus came to tell us. That we all can walk on water, we can heal the sick, we can raise the dead, we can do so many things in this lifetime. Now, a lot of us have been reproducing, myself, Michael Terranova, Reverend Joanna Rogers, Reverend Christopher Bazemore. We've all been trying to reproduce these teachings. One of the main things that we would like to do, well, I know I'm working on, is to be able to provide workbooks so that people can come to understand the teaching and answer these questions for themselves. And you will have the aspect of being able to read from the workbooks, learn for yourself, and then you might have the aspect of getting certified in one of the teachings, or be able to use that certification to come into the seminary at the Emma Curtis Hopkins Theological Seminary. And once you're able to do that, you may want to become a practitioner. And this is the thing that I want to talk about. Practitioner work. In order for practitioner work to work, and one of her best books is Lessons in Christian Science, or Class Lessons 1888, obviously we have to have love of self. We have to move anything that is negative out of our consciousness, because anything that we are thinking is going to go into somebody else's mind. Remember, it is mind to mind. So sometimes when you're trying to help somebody and you're not seeing anything move, is because either something going on in your mind, or there's something going on in the other person's mind, and it's filtering through and it's not coming out right. When somebody comes to you for practitioner work, you already have to see that this person is whole, perfect, complete, no matter what they're saying to you. So when we get into the aspect of these teachings, again, it is about embodying the work, not just saying. Even if you're not into Emma Curtis Hopkins and you're into the aspect of decreeing or meditating or doing mantras, the thing is you have to embody the thing that you are saying, that you are decreeing. It doesn't help that we keep saying different words all the time. If your consciousness is not at the level of believing the words that you say, things cannot manifest out right. Self-love is the most important, if not the keynote of everything that we need to be able to get the things that we want in our lives. And the thing is, once we achieve that self-love, then things are just going to trickle down into our lives, because we are going to know that we're worthy, that we deserve these things, that the power that resides in us is God, that no one can touch us but the hand of God, that we are whole, perfect, and complete, and loving, and harmonious, and peaceful, then life will become so easy for us. When we decide not to listen to the naysayers that are trying to tell us, no, we can't, when God is telling us, yes, you can, that's when we move into the embodiment of illumination. But if you're going to read Emma's teachings, you cannot read her teachings. You must study her teachings. Study them word for word. There are many Bible lessons that are out there. I can do hundreds of Bible lessons that all of us are creating to get to you. And some of them I can say are difficult to read sometimes, because she uses certain types of languages. There are analogies, mythology, different kind of religions and stuff like that. And you have to read it over and over to comprehend what she is saying. And I'm well versed in Emma, but sometimes I have to read the thing over and over to say, okay, what are you saying here, Emma? And I work with Emma on a daily basis. So if you're reading, if you're really into the Emma Curtis Hopkins movement, if you're into empowerment, if you want to know what your good is, study, study, study. Emma was a person that studied everything. I mean, she spoke many different languages, and she embodied everything that she taught. She embodied everything that she taught about love, about truth, staying firm to who you are, speaking your truth, and knowing that you love yourself. That means loving God will push you forward to the many things that you can do in your life. So I say start with one book. Go back to your book. It's interesting because I'm not a person that can reread anything. Emma Curtis Hopkins, I can read over 100 times. And each time I learn something different and something new. So I suggest to everybody that you go out there, get your Emma book, and start reading the first page and studying it, embodying it. The greatest news is that Reverend Joanna Rogers, who has Desert Express Designs, eventually will be coming out with something that will help you to study the different teachings of Emma, so that you can become familiar with the aspects of Emma Curtis Hopkins, and you can learn to embody her teachings, her mystical interpretations of the King James Bible. Then you will get a better understanding, and at that point, you may decide whether you would like to become a practitioner in the work, whether you'd like to go into the seminary school, or whether you'd like to take more classes in regards to her teachings, because there are thousands, there are thousands of things out there that we are trying to bring to you. The other thing that I would like to mention is that this work is arduous. God is our source, and we take our time to do a lot of research to get these things out to you. Reverend Joanna Rogers herself takes a lot of time just to look at different paragraphs to make sure they're in line with her teachings, that that everything is correct. Michael Terranova republishes things. I do the radio shows. I try to do the website. I bring it out to you because I want this world to be empowered in truth, to know that they are loved, that they have self-love, and there's nothing that can stop them. So I would like people to work with us to heal the universe, heal ourselves. So I ask everybody to join the ECH Theological Association, and let's bring together a wonderful movement of love and healing in the universe. Until next time, I'll see you